more color, which is good.
Aber auch ist es auch. Also wenn ich glaube, müsste wählen, würde ich das.
Und vor allem, weißt du, das und das macht es nicht noch mit dem irgendwie.
Also wir müssen eigentlich die Hosenverräte anlegen, damit es passt.
Yep, this one's good. This one is new,
No,
but
this
the
is
one we had
shy.
here, is on. So this one was here before. So we switched around. He's like, that's the guy where we went golfing with. And he asked me if this sponsor is still sponsoring us. I said no. And then he's like, okay, they're gonna take this place. So I'm gonna pay you 10,000. Okay. Okay. Nein, also er hat gemeint, letztes Jahr ja, er zahlt jetzt aber der Basisbetrag ist 10 mehr. Oh. Das ist der Glücksvater. Das ist der Glücksvater. Ich brauche zwei.
Es ist langsam ein Verlies.
Ganz klar.
Not sure.
Sexy Mini.
It's hard to say. We said like we never got it the way we wanted. Like last year, we kind of wanted this color. We got it like gray.
We don't have
gray.
room to add like.
So then we decided maybe we have to do it a little lighter, and now we get it like green.
We are running
But
out of room.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice color.
Yeah, I like it.
It's always a surprise what you
Yeah,
get
it's
when you
always-
use
There's no
the
name.
package.
No, I don't know if there is.
There is a code for the color.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Bell Alliance Center here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, home of the first Grand Slam of Curling of the year, the HearingLife Tier 1 Tour Challenge. You can tell it's my third game of the day. John Cullen here with you once again along Nay McCush, as she got married this summer, to fellow curler Robbie Gordon. Two great leads. I can only imagine their child will be a great lead. And on the other side, we have Team Tirinzoni. The skip is Silvana Tirinzoni. The fourth rock thrower is Alina Petz. The third is Selena Wichonka. And the lead is Carol Hovald. And Team Tirinzoni, that's the new one for us, but we'll power through here tonight. Two great teams. They're from Aarau, Switzerland, by the way. 6-time world champions are Alina and Carol. 4-time world champion Silvana. And, of course, Caitlin, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. So it's going to be a phenomenal game. A lot of quality on both sides of the sheet. And it does look like here, Tyler, that Caitlin Laws will be starting with hammer once we get going here in Charlottetown. Another good crowd out here. It's maybe a little lighter now that Brad Guju has taken the night off, but it's been a great week here so far in Charlottetown. And Tyler, I think safe to say, you know, you and I have been in the city now for a few days. You can actually feel a buzz about this event in the city here in Charlottetown.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite things about traveling around Canada for the slams, too, is when it comes to areas that don't get a lot of major sporting events, it's like their Super Bowl. You know, places like North Battleford and Yorkton and other spots where we've gone before, Okotoks, too, where this is the marquee event, and it's fun being a part of that. People are really excited about not just the slam itself, but about the sport. Very knowledgeable curling fans that know when to cheer, when not to. So these are the most fun atmospheres that we get to play in all year round, and I know the players are thrilled to be here and feel the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it earlier on the draw today, but even just, you talk about the knowledgeable curling fans, absolutely, and passionate as well. We've seen this all week long, that the games end, they get a nice round of applause from the teams, but then as the players leave the backboards and head towards the dressing room, they're signing autographs, they're taking pictures, and they're getting kind of another round of applause as they all leave the ice. So, yeah, it's been a very appreciative crowd here, and definitely a crowd that's excited for curling. And I know the weekend is close to sold out. We've got the Grand Slam of Karaoke, the very first one happening this Friday night in the Après Curl. It's going to be a really, really fun weekend here in Charlottetown. It's been a great couple days already, no question. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think they're going to let me sing in the karaoke, which is probably for the best. But
were you going to try?
No, I'll just be watching.
I did hear you mention the drums, though. At one
I can
point.
play drums. Robbie's a great guitar player, my co-host on the Broom Brothers. So we were kind of thinking that maybe, as the year goes on, more of the curling fans get to know us, and and we get to know more of the players. Maybe they could sneak Robbie and I in, because it's where they're doing karaoke with a live band, Tyler. I don't know if you know that part of it, but it's not just your canned karaoke tracks. It is a live band. So I figured if Robbie and I sneak in on guitar and drums, maybe we'll that could maybe sway the voters, as it were.
Yeah,
so.
I know they call you, I think we're starting this right now, the John Bonham of drummers in the commentary booth.
They do, yes. They call me the John Bonham, and it's not just because my first name is John. That would be all too convenient, but no, it is, I would say I don't know specifically how many curling commentators can play drums, but I'm going to guess that I'm the only one. And
the only one of these three, I'm pretty sure. I didn't ask Brent, but I'm going to assume he's not much on the drums.
Yeah, Brent seems like the type of guy who has no hobbies.
It's curling and commentary, and that's about it.
That's it, yeah.
I think he golfs a little bit, too.
Good golfer, no question about that.
We've seen pretty consistently throughout the week, John, that team without hammer has gone to a center guard first shot in the first end, and a lot of times on tour you see teams trying to get their feet underneath them and throw in the house, maybe trade hits for an end to get a feel for things, but right from the first game, I don't believe we've seen that in the feature draw at least a single time this week. So
we absolutely
that tells
have
you
not.
The quality of play as well, too, that these teams don't feel like they need to get used to the conditions. They're going to attack right from the get-go, and nothing different here from Silvana, and that's no surprise at all.
Yeah, Silvana loves rocks in play. Always helps when you have the weaponry of Alina Petz at the skip position, has all the shots in her locker, and is a really good run back and hard rock player. So that allows you to keep more rocks in play, knowing that she can handle the tough shots.
And there was probably a 3-year period a little while back where Alina was the best shooter in the world, I think, in a class by herself when Silvana's team went on that insane run with that winning streak of the World Championships and all that. Obviously, when teams like Rachel Homans or Jennifer Jones's before retirement get on a hot streak or playing enough that they feel like they're in their rhythm, then that changes things a little bit. But I don't think there was any question for at least a 2-year period that Alina was the best player in the world. And now we get those rivalries going again a little bit. There's no clear-cut best player, but Rachel might have a little issue with that. I think everybody would say when she's on, then she's the team to beat, obviously. But yeah, that's been a pretty good rivalry we've had now over the last few years between Holman and Tirinzoni.
Yeah, it was strange when we called the Holman-Constantini game this morning, another A semifinal, and Rachel Holman normally looks pretty invincible, but this morning she was very vincible as she made a few mistakes, and Stefania was a big winner in that game. So good to know she's human. We know Alina is as well. So yeah, as you said, there's definitely a few curlers in the conversation for that top spot. And after losing the World Final to Holman last year, that Team Tirinzoni will be dying to get back on top.
I start from the leads here as well with Carol Hovald, perfectly made center guard and come around tap. See if Kristen Gordon, I have to get used to that now too.
Yeah.
It's easy because I've been working so much with her husband as of late, Robbie, with
14-6.
helping us take care of things as I like to call him like the concierge for the athlete commission and the athletes. That's a way better title. But he's been fantastic
Gopher
for us. Yeah, or his actual one too.
Yeah, Robbie, a great guy that was one of the events of the summer in Winnipeg, the Gordon McCush wedding. Lots of curlers in attendance, as you might imagine, and it seemed like it was a pretty good party.
Yep. Two of the nicest people you'll find around the curling world, too, which is saying something in our wonderful community.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Kristen did come up a little light on that draw, so this is a chance for Selena Wichonka to put another one behind the corner guard, which she does there.
Yeah, and that was an
center guard, rather.
Situation, too, because she did wreck the guard but didn't push it off the center line, so the rock couldn't be removed from play. But I'm not sure they would have anyways if it had just barely gone off the center because there still would have been 2 guards up. So without the hammer, they may have opted to leave it there as the rock stayed on the center. It's the moot point.
So I think they were looking to drive that into the house there, but just a straight peel for Jocelyn Peterman.
Yeah, not a great setup for Team Laws after Kristen's come around came up short. So really in damage control mode and not any big danger as of yet, but don't like the angles, the way the rocks are set up. And for Team Tirinzoni, they're going to be replacing the guards and trying to make Team Laws waste some stones, get later into the end, maybe find a steal, but at the very least, keep them from putting up multiple points. I know, John, you're looking to get into your novel War and Peace with all the accomplishments for these teams at some point, too. Looking over at your notes, we may need a commercial break between the 2 teams.
Absolutely, yeah. Lots going on. I mean, we don't...
save it for the ends where they're trading.
Exactly. Certainly don't need to read them all out like a list. But, yeah, the lists are very deep and 2 very accomplished teams. Silvana Tirinzoni currently ranked number 2 in the world. Caitlin Laws number 12. But obviously we know what Caitlin is capable of, and certainly all the rest of the women on her team as well.
A little surprising they came into the house there. I thought
agree.
Maybe they'd continue to guard for a little while, and wasn't really any danger with the angles, but now that'll allow Laws to hammer some granite in the house and try to clean things up. Likely try to play for a blank.
Spin it up.
They managed to keep the other one in, too. That's a very good shot there from Joss Peterman.
Yeah, very good.
Muss nicht mehr viel schneller. 10 ist normal.
So for Silvana, just going to hit this redstone at the back, lie 2.
And these are the tracks, too, John, that we've seen all week long, early in the games especially, that teams have missed light and narrow as they get off that draw path early in the game on the different tracks and closer to the center line where it's going to curl more as well. So see if the veteran Tirinzoni makes sure the weight is there. This looks like it's curling early.
Yeah, Selena on this right out of the hand. This is not a lot of weight. I don't even think this is close.
I mean, you like being correct as a commentator, but not to see a miss following the analysis. But yeah, that's a miss we've seen all week long, and a completely common one for slam ice as well. It just looked like a soft release and probably a little less weight than they were looking to play to. So now all of a sudden, Tirinzoni looked to be completely in control of the end, and open hit to sit 3. Same type of shot here for Selena.
Kristen Gordon's been on this one out of the hand as well. Can they get it by the corner guard?
Oh,
no,
just both.
Feather tick.
The same type of miss. So both teams just not really playing to the conditions and making sure you're there on that shot. And obviously it's a little tight to the guard to make it anyways, but they could see almost that whole stone. So an error from both teams, and Tirinzoni may be out of trouble already.
Yeah, this almost looks like we didn't even throw the last 2 rocks.
Right.
Only difference is this red rock's a little 1 rock up in the house. But yeah, you're exactly right, Tyler. And I think, we know a lot of these slam teams, they do want to throw that nice controlled down hit weight. But the only issue with that is what you're seeing here is that it can be a little bit actually tougher to control, especially early in the game where it's curling a lot more than maybe they're expecting.
Yeah, and we've mentioned a lot of times during the week, but we'll repeat it again for those that haven't been listening to us all week long, that slam ice is pretty consistent with what you expect for curl and the types of misses that we're talking about. With you really need to get the rock out of your hand with a good positive release, a good rotation, because the break is really sharp, and when it goes, it's gone. Like it's hard to hold the line once the curl is started, more than any other curling surface. And I think if Silvana and Selena threw those exact same releases on World Championship ice, you're probably going to get a way better result than you get here at the slams. But this is something that, for these teams that have played in who knows how many slams, they know these things coming in. You know, this is nothing new. So, you know, maybe just a little bit of losing focus early in the game, and both teams with the same mistake.
So Selena does touch that back yellow stone, but doesn't move it very far. So they're sitting in there for second and third shot. Alina going to hit second shot here and wants to roll a little bit, I think, to the broom side here, Tyler, but certainly you don't want to roll too far with that other red being still in the rings.
Yeah, I think maybe 6 inches, like not even maybe to where the broom is at, is probably the best roll to try to avoid the double. And obviously you need to stay shot too.
Carol Hovald trying to bring this over. You don't want to roll too far here. And did they roll too far? I think they did, Tyler.
That looks like red is second, so it is a hit to sit 2 for Laws.
So we have another look at that. Carol trying to bring that one over, but just will not. And so both teams struggling a little bit early with where to put the broom, and this is a pretty good opportunity here now for Caitlin Laws to lie too.
And that one was a little farther out for the track, and we have seen those runs, so it's a completely different path really that you're going to see the rock take, even with an identical throw. So Alina probably liked that one out of her hand, and just outside that track where it turns over, it's really getting outside the draw path is where you see those rocks running.
So we'll see if Caitlin can navigate it here. Her first stone. And number 1.
Clean then, yep. Hard if you're quiet. Hard if you're quiet. Hard.
Same type of track again where we expect this to curl quite a bit.
Hard. Right to it.
Sweep is really leaning on it, trying to hold for nose.
Good. Sweep.
Not too bad. I
That's
think
a pretty good result.
Yeah, the double is probably there if Alina wants to take it on. Could hit and roll too.
Yeah, I think the hit and roll might be a little better option because you've got to stop her over there. So you should be shot rock even if you roll into the yellow. And there's a couple good spots you can end up. If you play the double and you don't make it, you know, it's a tough angle to make it. You're pretty much giving up a 2 automatically.
Hittenroll ist schon möglich, aber behalten ist nicht.
So they are taking on the double, laying the rock in the top of the 12-foot, so Alina feeling confident early.
Yeah, we talked at the start of the game that Alina definitely has these shots in her locker. We'll see if she can pull one out here. Final stone in number 1.
Very close. And that's perfect.
That's just as cool as you like from Alina Petz. Makes what was a pretty tough double look very easy. And
walk in the park for Alina.
Yeah, Caitlin Laws will be looking for the blank here.
Their last few out here didn't seem to do too much.
Well, all of a sudden we have a blank opportunity after all that.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes when the end is looking good for one team, then good for the other team, then good for the other team. It can end up in this scenario. So Caitlin Laws will just look to hit the outside of this yellow stone for the blank. Final stone here in end number 1.
Clean.
Likes it out of her hand.
You can clean. You can clean.
Yeah, seems to be no issue at all, and indeed it is not. So we'll put a couple zeros up on the board.
Right there, Lahoy.
Laws will keep the hammer.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms, are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Ja, ich glaube 4-1 wird langsam. Es muss näher sein. Eben darum finde ich 4-1 langsam.
So a first end blank, Tyler, but it was not for lack of trying by the two teams. Definitely seemed like we were going to put some form of a score on the board there, but a really nice shot by Alina Petz to secure the blank for her team.
Yeah, a couple errors from each team, not a real crisp first end, but again, the similar misses to what we've seen all week with those pads and rocks just over curling and not quite having as much weight as they expect out of hands. So it is a 0-0 game after one with hammer retained by Team Laws.
And as you are probably aware, if you're tuning in, Caitlin playing 8 months pregnant in this game, which is pretty impressive. I know she was a similar level along with when she was pregnant with Mila, her first child, and I talked to her at the Autumn Gold. She was playing in that event at that time, and she said it honestly didn't bother her slide at all. It just felt different in the hack. She had to change kind of the way that she set up in the hack, but she said once her slide started going, she didn't really notice any difference. So she's been able to play very well, very pregnant, and quite a few of the women on tour have managed that feat, and it's very impressive. I couldn't do it.
I'm always so impressed by it, honestly. I mean, I feel like if I eat a big dinner, then it's tough for me.
I'm going to
get out of
bed.
the hack, but
I don't even want to commentate if I eat a big dinner.
It's a different form of athleticism, really. I mean, to be able to still compete at the same level with that, hats off.
Yeah, Team Laws bringing on Becca Hebert as a fifth for this season, anticipating that Caitlin will be missing a few events along the way here.
I'm going to anticipate that too.
Yeah.
I would think.
Usually that is the normal standard.
A little superhuman, but
yeah. So it was a little deep from Kristen Gordon on her first, and Carol Hovald makes a really nice freeze.
A really strong start from Carol. 4 perfect makes.
Yep, bud. Hard.
This looks light.
Yeah, I might have to take a look at that rock. That's the same thing that happened in the first end. Because, John, we are representatives of the athletes first and foremost. We want to give them as many outs as we can. So,
absolutely.
So we're going to say maybe that rock's an issue.
Well, I think one thing that maybe points to that too is, Selena and Jocelyn really gave no indication that it was light.
Right.
For how far they ended up missing the shot is about 6-8 feet light. Usually in that case, you got very experienced sweepers. They're going to pick up on that. So
yeah, you're talking 3 of the best players in the world. None of them picking up on it throughout the course of the shot between the shooter and the 2 sweepers. Absolutely. So we'll give the benefit of the doubt to the players.
But all that said, it is still a missed shot. So that was an opportunity for Selena Wieczonka, but that's a little bit heavy. And kind of like last end here, Tyler, we're going to see a chance for Caitlin Laws to maybe get out of some of the danger she's in early here.
Got a thing, 3/4.
Yeah, very similar start to the first end, a little deja vu, but Kate's going to try to just play this short run. I don't think they'll throw a bomb here, though. They want to keep the shooter around probably for a corner or something like that. And with the angle, they should be able to roll the red onto the paint and the shooter over towards the corner guard.
Curl.
Just want to hang it a little bit on Joss.
Yep.
Just roll into the paint. That's a good result.
Good.
Yeah, nice shot.
Just a hair thinner than they would have liked. If the shooter comes up just a little bit more, then it sticks around for a better corner guard, but they'll take that one. You saw the weight control there too, John. Didn't overthrow it. Plenty of weight to make sure the yellow goes.
Yeah, it definitely seems like teams have kind of learned over time that there are more ways to get rid of rocks in front of the house that are not just throwing a bomb at it, and that there can be lots of positive results. And speaking of positive results, that's really nice from Selena, hitting rolls to a perfect freeze.
That's a really good spot for that roll
This
for
one and
Selena.
this one, but try and keep your shooter here. Yep.
Got a pretty good chance if you say Selena during this game. 2 of the 8.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
Yeah.
Different spelling with
Different
the two,
spelling. I don't know if they can tell the difference between Selena and Selena. One with an E and one with an I, but Jocelyn going to try and get some lemons moving here. And she does get them moving, but leaves 2 in the forefoot.
And none of the yellows go, so that yellow stone sticking around to the outside 12-foot could come into play with a blank opportunity. The rocks bunched up in the middle gives you a pretty decent opportunity to play for the blank again, but that outside stone there in the 12s could prevent that from happening. This is though Silvana's content to hit and sit 4 here. Sitting 4, very rarely a bad thing.
And sit 4 they will.
See how Caitlin wants to approach this. If she wants to try to position stones to get a pocket somewhere or just kill as many as she can. I think they're probably still in elimination mode.
Oh, there's a hair right there.
Eagle eye there from Selena, spotting a hair on the ice. Never know, could make a difference between a miss and a make.
Absolutely. So not throwing a ton at this, just a little hit and flop.
Really gotta go.
Another one on those in-between tracks going towards the center, too.
That'll end up hitting the other side of it. So the red will hang around for second shot, but I don't think that helps out Team Laws a great deal.
Now that's a good break for Tirinzoni. That spreads the rocks out, makes it more difficult for Laws to make doubles and to create any kind of pockets to score 2. So I'm sure Silvana's happy with that result. Anytime the rocks are bunched up, even if you're looking at 3 or 4, then you don't feel like you're in trouble because you have opportunities to get out the end. They're spread out like this. It's not danger, but you're probably going to get to a point going to your last stone where you're looking at multiple counters when you play your final stone.
Right on the beak, and Tirinzoni once again lies 4.
I like the weight that Silvana threw there too. A little bit more than what we've seen from those hit and sticks that they were playing in the first and earlier in this end. Taking the ice out of it a little bit. No guesswork. Well done.
So a chance for maybe a double and a little roll here for Selena Negevin.
Takes its time a little bit to get off the center line, but going now.
Nice.
That's really nice from Selena.
That doubles and rolls over towards the what was now the number 1.
Very artsy.
Second and third. Really good shot there, good result. Blank not completely out of the picture now.
No, somehow not. Usually when you're lying 4 with only 3 of your opponent's rocks to come, you are pretty sure you're not going to get blanked. But you're right, it is definitely still on the table here.
Alina would definitely like to roll this away, separate these stones. They're sitting right next to each other. Triple could be in play. That's a good shot.
Yeah, no trouble for Alina getting that separation. So
she's in that mode now where she's got the rhythm to the point she's not even watching the end of the throw. She's already on the carpet before that stone made contact.
Who cares? I don't need to see it.
You like seeing that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the rhythm. That's when you're feeling good.
Or when you're feeling particularly bad. It's one or the other. You're never
I don't want to see the end of that.
Yeah, you're never going to the carpet if it's sort of in between. But if you're feeling really good or feeling really bad, then you may see a trip to the carpet in the middle.
Yeah, and a little addendum to that, too, for the club curler. We do not recommend that when you're trying to improve your game. You know, take every second you can get of watching the lines and getting as much information as you can. It's Alina has earned that privilege, I believe. World champs do have that right. I don't think anything's happening in the last 30 feet that's going to surprise Alina.
Yeah, barring a pick, maybe a hair on the ice. Yes, I would agree with you. So first rock for Caitlin Laws, trying to get rid of 2 yellows if she can. And can't get rid of 2, but rolls to an okay spot.
Yeah, pretty good shot. A little unlucky with getting right in between where it would have either spun up in front of the stone, so you have it for a jam, or clearing the rock so that it kind of brings a possible blank back in. Really good throw by Caitlin.
Dat is nu niet. Ik wil hem het läuft da. Nase wird perfekt, aber auch wenn wir ein bisschen rollen oder so, ist gut. Ich glaube, sie ist nicht so schlecht so.
I think I have less of a chance with translation tonight than I did with the Italian the other night.
That's exactly what Brent said. It was Swedish in that case, but yeah, German, also not a Romance language, so it doesn't help us too much.
I suppose I should be honored that I'm on a mind meld with Brent now.
Honor is one word.
Yeah,
you could use to
that's what I'm going to go with.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a long season together. It works for cohesiveness, right?
That's very kind of you. We'll see what you're saying at the Players in April, but yes, at the Tour Challenge in October, that's maybe the right word to use.
There you go. So the option here on this last one to either hit and stick or draw, electing to play the hit against 3. This is just really a preference for the skip, whatever they feel like they're going to make. If they feel good about the draw weight, that's usually the preferred one, so you're not risking the rollout. But early in the game, having played a few hits already, Caitlin likes the way this runs. She just threw it.
So final stone for Caitlin Laws in the second, facing 3 Tirinzoni counters, needs a hit and stick. Kristen Gordon indicating it's a little lighter. If that's the case, they might lose it here. But a nice early sweep from Jocelyn Peterman, and they will not lose it. It will stick around for the 1. Team Tirinzoni will have the hammer for the first time after this.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Just got a text from Tier 2 team Danielle Inglis, who informed me that I definitely could not curl pregnant. So thank you, Danielle. I said that already. But yes.
I'm sure the viewing audience agrees with that, too.
Yeah, no one was like, yeah, you could handle it. I mean, I, just speaking personally, have a very, very low pain threshold. I am extremely weak. So there's just no question. I mean, it's not even a conversation. I wouldn't be anywhere. I mean, I quit already. I didn't get pregnant. I just said the curling's too hard. I'm out.
Yeah.
So never mind being 8 months pregnant. I think we're all in agreement. So we'll get our first look at Team Tirinzoni with the hammer here, Tyler, and I would not be surprised to see them get, not aggressive, but I would say they've had the better of the play so far. And sometimes when you do that without the hammer and you get the hammer for the first time, you get anxious to put some points on the board.
We're a little higher than your room. No.
Yeah, you don't want to overextend, obviously. It's just a 1-0 game playing the third, and, curling 101 is get twos with the hammer and don't give them up without it, but the opportunity needs to present itself, too. You don't need to force the issue. A 1-point game early in the game. That center guard crosses over quite a ways.
Yeah, not touching the center, which would mean in a game where if they needed Carol Hovald to ticket, they could, but I think in this case they're happy to have what is a quasi-center guard here.
Yeah, that's green light for Silvana to throw the corner now, too. That guard doesn't frighten them at all. So good setup to start the end for team. I guess we could still call them Team Switzerland. Maybe they've earned that, right? Or the Swiss team.
The Swiss team, yeah. Eight-time Swiss champions are Silvana, Alina, and Carol. And Selena just coming out of the junior game. So she's only a one-time Swiss women's champion, but a 5-time Swiss junior champion. So certainly no strangers to representing their country are the members of Team Tirinzoni.
Yeah, it's just kind of reflex to look at Silvana and her squad and think Switzerland. That's the team.
It's kind of getting fun, though. That Xenia Schwaller team, just speaking of junior champions, just winning the World Junior Championship, and they're now a top 10 ranked team in the world, and they're in this event. They lost earlier today to Team Gim, and coincidentally, that is who the winner of this game will play. So Schwaller's down on the B side, but the winner of this Tirinzoni Laws game will play Gim in the A final tomorrow.
Silvana electing to come around the outside of these two guards. Really sweeping to get by.
Yeah, Selena leaning on that one, but just maybe a touch light, I think, there from Carol.
Now that flips the script once again, and the guards set up the way they are. Team Laws will be able to be first in. And John, I think you see here at the Slams more than any other curling tournaments that both teams always feel like it's so important to be first in because of the quality of play of the teams. And if you're chasing, you're really getting yourself into trouble. Whereas when you're playing in other bonspiels on tour, club games, things like that, if you feel like you have a significant advantage, you're not as afraid of a team getting in first or having to chase or anything like that. The team that's in the forefoot or around the guards first always seems like they really felt it was important to get there first.
And it's Team Laws who gets there first, and so Selena Wichonko will be asked to play the double peel, and it might run back on this redstone for a triple. certainly those top two will go.
We definitely should note again that that's the third time that Kristen's draw has over-curled and died, wrecked the guard. So I think we can fairly safely say that that rock may be a bit of a cutter or a pig. You see the triple there, just for fun.
Just for fun. Very nice from Selena there.
Do we call her a rookie here? Are we supposed to? With all the stuff she's won already?
Yeah. Pretty good rookie.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Maybe
acquitting herself well.
Yeah, would have been a Rookie of the Year candidate last year for sure, making a world final in her first appearance in the women's game.
Yeah.
It's a good gig if you can get it.
Yep.
Yeah, wow, and then a double peel from Jocelyn Peterman right back. So
almost sneaks around the rings
yeah,
too, but
no kidding.
Looking blankish again now.
Yeah, you could have seen maybe a more defensive team just peel that guard and bring the blank on, but Silvana asking Selena to draw around. And yeah, it was in the turn of this quad, it was a bit of a switch for Silvana, losing her longtime teammates Esther and Melanie, both retiring, and Carol came onto the team along with Breyer, Hurlem, and Schwaller, and Breyer just wasn't quite a fit for the team. And when you got a 5-time Swiss junior champ just waiting in the wings, that makes that loss of a talented player like Breyer pretty easy to manage.
That's so fun to see the talent pool getting deeper in so many of these countries too, that it's not just the one team
Absolutely.
that is carrying the banner for years and years in a row. And there's a lot of places around the world that's the case now. So,
yeah.
Seeing the juniors especially coming up immediately and getting that experience playing front end for the top teams in the world, I mean, you got to be really good to get the call to be in that spot. But it's also a breeding ground for the future champion back end players too. And a lot of us did that. I did it coming up in the men's game as well, where you get that experience with the vets that show you the way, and then eventually move up to those back-end positions. Even for Caitlin playing third with Jennifer, who knows how much knowledge she garnered from that experience over all that time. Now back to the skip position that she had in her younger days.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no question that Caitlin could have come out of juniors and skipped her own team and had some success, never played any other position. But yeah, no question you get the call to play third for a great like Jennifer Jones. You take that experience, and obviously she parlayed that into a couple Olympic appearances, a gold medal, a couple world championships. And then, yeah, just the circle of life took over, and Caitlin's now skipping, and it's worked out well for them. Being pretty consistently ranked in and around the top 10 in the world.
The broom that Silvana's taking here for this shot, you can tell she's just playing it soft, trying to roll the shooter into the rings. So sit second and third and bring a 2 back into play.
Yeah, just a little chap and lie here for Silvana Tirinzoni on this quasi-corner guard.
This is a veteran call to accomplish multiple things with one shot. That's perfect. Really well done by Silvana.
Really nice, really nice. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about a couple ends ago, that just teams have different ways of thinking about eliminating guard rocks and doing more with it, and that's a great example of that there. Just perfect throw from Silvana.
And good timing on that too, John, with 3 shots left now after that one. It's not like you have to make a double on your next shot in order to get 2. You have 3 opportunities to either get a half miss from your opponent or make one yourself to try to get 2. So really like that call from Silvana and from Elena.
Good speed.
I think they were hoping for a little roll inside there on Selena's, and they don't quite get it.
Yeah, I'm not positive their second shot. It looks like yellow might be second.
I think that's what they're thinking. It was certainly their thinking around rolling, so I would tend to agree with you.
You got to avoid the backing here, and they want it to go over the top so they can roll away. If you roll underneath the rock in the top of the 12-foot, it might be behind the tee line, but awfully risky for Team Laws to chase with a freeze because it's against a 3. So I think they're going to try to roll this at least a few feet. If they can get it all the way over underneath that rock in the top 12s, that's their ideal result. And they do just that. Look at that roll. What a shot.
Gorgeous from Silvana.
Great touch there from the veteran. Just great weight control. Again, very similar weight to what she just threw on the previous shot. Maybe a little bit more to get that full roll over because you don't want it to roll too deep. So another interesting situation now too, John, with the roll being made perfectly. Caitlin's electing just to hit the back one. So does Silvana draw underneath the rock in the top 12s again and play for the 3, or does she split the house and play for 2? I know we've had, over the years, many arguments with our coaches about what we like to do on these shots. John and I always preferred going for the 3. Our coaches generally like pushing us to split the house and play for 2.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would give me pause about that is it's a very short run. In this case, you know, it's not a true guard, and Caitlin pretty solid with the hit weight. As this will not roll out, but will be third shot. So
the other option is to freeze to the back one as well. So there are 3 different options. Doesn't look like they're real interested in going under the.
Yeah, I just think it's too. I think it's too short in this case, or at least that's for me anyway. You might be a little more aggressive with it, but I think too, if I'm Tirinzoni, I'm thinking to myself, we're outplaying them.
Yeah.
Let's put 2 on the board. Let's take the lead. We like how things are going so far. You never want to try to give the momentum back to Team Laws, and I think by just splitting the house and guaranteeing your 2, you keep momentum in your back pocket here.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point there too, John, that you're playing knowing that you feel like you're the better team right now. You're throwing the rock a little better. You got good weight control. So don't give your opponent an out. You know, you're almost assuredly getting a 2 as long as you make a simple shot on your last. I don't think Caitlin's ever considering playing the freeze. She's hitting and giving 2. So as long as you get this to even up.
Yeah, Hovald and Wichonka are on this.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You can be a little deeper too.
Yep. Looks like pretty much dead even from Alina Pett. Certainly no double there.
Yeah, and the good thing with carrying that even a little bit deep is that now the nose hit isn't shot too. So if for whatever reason something happened on the last where, you know, it picked or something like that, you still have your points over there. Very unlikely. And you're almost assuredly hitting as long as this stone is nose or inside of it. But the little things, sometimes it matters.
Still try and give you somewhere in between the 2.
I think that's a good point. I think a lot of the people watching the streams probably playing at the club level, and that's not necessarily something they'd think about. So I think that's exactly something you, as a veteran and a Olympic champion, you know, people love to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's the little things, really. I mean, especially at this level of play, that every inch you can get on your opponent, you know, can make the smallest bit of difference, and could be the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, so you heard them try. Right, yeah, they were trying for the roll so that it wouldn't.
If they let that rock stop a foot higher, that nose hit would have been shot rock.
Yeah.
I like when they make it look like I know what I'm talking about. That's like twice tonight already. Brent and I couldn't call anything to save our lives every time we tried to predict something earlier. So.
You got to be feeling great over there.
Yeah, good mojo here. I'm riding high.
So a relatively simple shot here for Alina Pett on her last. Just needs a hit and stick, and honestly, she has a little wiggle room on the roll too here to put 2 on the board. Final stone.
Alina up out of her crouch. She knows it's good.
Yep. No
Love
trouble.
that confidence.
Didn't have to retreat to the carpet, but she knew she had made it, and indeed she did. 2-1, Tirinzoni leads.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Well, Tyler, we talk about easy twos and hard twos, and that was a relatively painless one there for Team Tirinzoni. Just a really nice hit and roll from Silvana, pretty much setting that deuce up with 4 rocks to go, and Alina Petz executes.
Yeah, she's so fun to watch when she's got that rhythm going. Just so nonchalant, intense at the same time, but they just let it go. Everything's good. Get up out of the stance. Just a casual slide down the sheet. We've all had those runs where you feel that way, and just feel like it's out of your hand, it's made. And that's every bit as much about having a good feel for the ice as it is about how you're throwing it, too. She's got it all going right now. Saw that a little bit earlier today in the morning draw from Brad Jacobs, and Mark Kennedy really had it going today in the back end, making circus shots left and right, and that same confidence from both of them. The greats, when you see them get it going, it's a fun show to watch, and we get to do this all year.
Well, it's a great feeling too, because it unlocks shots for you too, right? You know, when you have that confidence of, oh, I can make anything, it really opens up the strategy, really allows you to do some things that can confound your opponent. And absolutely, we saw that this morning, and maybe seeing it a little bit here tonight, although Alina hasn't had to do anything too crazy yet, but maybe we'll see as this game goes along. That's just by the guard from Carol Hovald. Great sweep from Selena Wichonka.
Yeah, really good sweep there to hold that one. Might be a few reasons they brought her on board.
Yeah.
Not just a shooter.
Exactly. The right biceps and the left biceps, I think, maybe.
Keep an eye on this rock again now for Kristen, too. Really liked it for quite a while, and now turning.
Stay down.
Pretty good result there.
Nice shot.
Nice shot.
Great brush.
Nicely managed, and good weight there from Kristen Gordon.
I'm sure Rob will appreciate that we're calling that stone out, too.
Of course. So I'm a career lead, Tyler. I'm always promoting lead culture and all the things associated with it. I know you as a third, you kind of have a little bit of disdain for us down at the bottom end of the lineup, but.
Well, I was a skip for most of my career, so I had way more disdain.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You can't have too much disdain at third because you got to spend time around.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah.
But skip, yeah. I mean, there's.
Oh,
who are those guys way at the other end?
Oh, absolutely. You never room with the lead either. You never have to worry about that. I see him at dinner and on the ice. That's about it. And when they carry my brooms into the building.
So you just take them out of the trunk and drop them in the parking lot. Don't even look.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a little misstep there from Selena, just a little bit heavy bouncing off. So this is an opportunity here for Jocelyn Peterman maybe to get inside this yellow and get their rocks in a good spot.
Joss has had a strong start to this game as well.
Yeah, very good. Maybe she's getting a little bit of the Charlottetown confidence that her husband, Brett Gallant, gets when he's back home. Maybe a little bit of that is seeping in.
Yeah, Brett's Captain Canada up here. I mean,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
The roars for
they love him out here.
The draws to the house, open hits.
Oh, yeah. Charlottetown's native son. We also see it with Lauren Lenentine, who's out there playing with Chelsea Carey tonight. I said I knew we were in Charlottetown on Monday night. You and I went out for dinner with the new head of the Grand Slams, Nick Sulsky, and they had a cutout of Lauren in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I never knew that they made cutouts of leads. If I knew that,
I hope she knows.
I might have kept playing. She knows because I tagged her in a story about it, and she texted me, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She didn't know until I sent her the picture.
That's why you took that picture. I remember you doing that when we were walking out.
Yeah. And she said, "Oh my God!" And I said, "I know a lead got a cutout. What is this?" It's insane. But yeah, they look after their own here in PEI. There's no doubt about that.
I think that's one of the fun things about the curling world in general, too, is we're very provincial. As much as we're a big community, where you're from is always so proud of you for what you accomplish. I know we felt that way about Minnesota and Duluth, and the Duluth Curling Club in particular. And every curler feels that way when you go home. And if you need any evidence of it whatsoever, I mean, you see the cheers here, but wait till you see the crowds in Newfoundland.
Oh, baby.
When we get out there for the third slam of the year.
Yeah, Brad Gajou can do no wrong in St. John's. He's got a lifetime pass for whatever over there. There's no doubt about that.
Really good run back to lose one red, keep the shooter around on the corner, but still opens up the other red counter as well. So really good shot there.
Yeah, and speaking of Team Carey, they are out here tonight playing up against Team Anna Hasselborg. Hasselborg is leading that one 2-1 with the hammer. They're in the fourth. Right in front of us, it's your compatriots, Tab Peterson, quote-unquote Tab Peterson, as she's not here this weekend. Corey Tisu taking the reins. They're up 2-1 over Satsuki Fujisawa. And over beside our feature sheet, it's Rebecca Morrison against Team Kim. That's tied 1-1. They're playing in the fourth as well. All those games available on Home Team Live. No commentary or player mics, but you can watch them. And that's a really good shot from Jocelyn Peterman as I was giving the other games. Always miss the good ones.
We're seeing some good shot making now after a little bit of a slow start from both teams. Judging by the boom, it looks like they're just going to try to play nose-nose with this and stay on top of the other red. It's important not to roll off. I've seen Silvana make a couple of nice finesse weight hits already in this game. A couple interns last end and now playing out. Really similar line, just on the opposite end of the sheet. Out turn doesn't get as good a result, though.
Yeah, just over curls despite Selena's best efforts, and that will roll all the way into the back 12. So Caitlin Law is still sitting the 2 with hammer here, 1 for sure anyway.
A discussion here for Team Laws.
Feels really nice here.
Electing to guard, assuming at least a tight guard, maybe even the top ring. I think they're just playing it tight, though.
Yeah, that seemed to be the indication, I think, Tyler. You're right.
You generally don't guard a lot with hammer these situations, but with the way the rocks are set up, I think it's the best shot.
Keep going as far as you can.
I think so, too, especially with all the yellows around in the house. If you ever lose your reds there, you're starting to get into a bit of a scary savior shot.
Yeah, and if you put even a halfway decent guard up, they're not going to be able to remove both stones. And your opponent only has 3 stones remaining right now. So you're trying to make them waste a stone if you can. They would have liked maybe another foot or 2 on that line. So they couldn't really come around and dig it out. But they're making Silvana play something relatively difficult in this spot. When you're sitting 2, that's never a bad thing. May only be sitting 1. And the yellow may be second count. I don't think they're real concerned about that yet. It's close.
So you heard them say backline weight here.
So they want to tap that red out of the 4-foot, but still stay on top of the other red. Catch this right, they may sit 2. At the very least, red will only be sitting 1. On-off sweep. I like the line.
Carol Hovald trying to bring this one over. And it'll just get off the nose. But it does roll in for shot.
Maybe an opportunity now for
Right on the nose.
Team Laws.
Like hack, or we don't have to kill it. We just gotta get to know.
The nose or a little to the inside too.
Even if you do this and this jam here, pretty good. Backline. Backline.
Backline weight there, John. So they're not playing to kill the stone, but they'd like to move it out of count.
Okay, easy early. Curl, 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 curl. 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 Curl.
Should get this to go once it gets close to the center line, but taking its time.
All you got, Joss.
Jocelyn Peterman trying to bring this one over. You do not want to hit the outside of this stone. That's pretty good from Selena Negevin, I think.
That's actually very good, yeah. Yeah, with those yellows in the back of the 4-foot now, there really isn't a double. So this is a delicate situation for Team Tirinzoni.
Es ist einfach Gefahr, dass wenn wir den berühren, dass der nachher noch ins Spiel kommt. Weißt du, wenn wir jetzt dem irgendwie ankämpfen. Was ich mir überlegt, so. Ja, das ist einfach nicht so einfach, aber ich glaube...
Also es wäre ein guter Stein, aber nicht so.
Ich habe das Gefühl, es ist fast der. Sogar ein Fried also wäre besser als... Wäre okay, wenn wir nachher da liegen würden.
Dann müssen wir schon...
Können wir den tappen bis da und da hinlegen? Ich glaube, ich habe das Gefühl, ist ein Stein.
Den findest du gar nicht gut.
Moll. Da wäre nicht gut. He? Gut, dann macht es den wieder auf. Ja? Wahrscheinlich der einfacher, oder? Ja. Genau Fries, oder?
Genau Fries, ja.
Okay.
So electing to play the draw.
This is it's a little bit a little danger zone-y for me, TG.
Yeah, that shows you how good the angles are for Team Laws, that they just don't really see a good spot to hit that stone. I don't disagree. Not sure exactly where they're trying to go with it. With the broom out that wide, I think they might just be coming around the reds to the yellow pocket.
That's my guess as well, yep. Using their own rock as backing here. So we've seen Alina Petz make some nice hits. We'll see if her draw weight's up to par here. This is curling.
It's got to go for weight, too.
Yeah. Weight's really coming off with the curl. Can they get it there? Wow, great sweep from Selena, but a little short of where they wanted it.
Really important to get it by that red.
Absolutely. You click off there, that's death.
And they're sitting 2. So big sweep there to get that rock to the top of the button.
Same shot, you just play.
Yeah, we've
and
said
then
that a
she
few
just starts
times
the same
already this
shot.
game for Selena Wieczonka.
Here, just try and make this, and we're sitting 1, 2 here.
I'm staying across the hall from her and Alina,
You like that?
and I've seen Selena go down to the gym every day since I've been there. So not only are they curling, but still getting a workout in with these 1-game days.
Now, did you see her there because you were there too, or just leaving the room to go there?
Oh, leaving the room. Leaving the room. Come on.
Gave you a chance.
Okay, come on.
I think we gotta throw, like,
I was coming to broadcast, you know.
I was going to say, I didn't see you down there in all the time that I've been there.
if it's hanging, we just make that double.
Yeah, I
that's
was
fine
absolutely
too,
not
but
in the gym.
Try and make the 2.
See, when you word it like I did, I never said that I was there or not. I said all the time that I was there, I didn't see you. I'm not going to say how many times I've been.
Try and make the double. So we're trying to hit where we can see.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to remember if I'm in the gym or not. I'm just doing so many push-ups. Were they in the gym? Were they in my room?
Just constantly working out.
Outside of my
Parkour.
car, parking lot.
Yep.
Sometimes before I go into the grocery store, I like to bang out a few reps in the pavement.
Yep. The regular Michael Scott.
Yep.
Hopping around the curbs and the dumpsters.
Absolutely. Yep. So I think this is a double try here for Caitlin Laws, her first. Hasn't been much from the sweepers here. And that's not bad. They're now lying 2 and 3, I believe.
Yeah, and the red stone that's in front of those 2 is lined up to go right into the pocket of those 2 yellows. So this is a little dangerous now for Tirinzoni. They need to stick around with whatever they play here. So if they're hitting that stone in the top of the forefoot, that shot has to stay there, and you're probably still giving them a draw for 2.
Yes, we get a look there. It actually looks like Laws' shot.
Yeah.
Tirinzoni's 2, and then Laws' is 3. So
yeah, this is a very touchy shot here.
Okay, 11,5, so.
Ik laat op station net kans.
Gerade nicht ganz, aber so heftig. So it's 12.
So just trying to hit this one on the nose, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't think she has much option. She can't play it on the wide side, and I don't know that rolling in does a lot. So they'll still be sitting second.
So last rock here for Alina Petz. Leading by 1 and needs to make a nose hit here. And that's perfect.
It gets the nose, so yellow is 1, red's 2, and yellow's 3, 4, 5. I think there is a shot for 2, though, just playing that red right into the pocket of those 2 yellows. Nose might be good enough. Just inside nose is definitely good enough. Yeah,
I don't know.
Just about a hair inside nose to make sure.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you don't get too far inside nose.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward shot, actually. I mean, you just keep the weight solid, take the ice out of it, and it's definitely a shot for 2. Again, though, I don't think they really had much choice but to leave this for him. He couldn't really roll anywhere.
Yeah, 3 was in play if you didn't make that shot, so I agree with you there, Tyler, for sure.
Easy peel.
Your easy
My guess
peel,
is
the
it's gonna
call
come
from
up 'cause
Kate.
it's a little fresh here.
Thinking the ice might be a little fresh, and smart to take the ice out of it then and throw it hard enough it shouldn't be an issue.
Final stone for Caitlin Laws. Trying to get 2 right back.
Has to be nose or inside to get 2.
And they won't get 2, but they will get 1. So this will be a tie game. Tirinzoni will have the hammer in the 5th. We're going to take a 4th end break, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
Comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, where your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Hello, curling fans. Welcome back inside the Bell Alliance Center here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, home of the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside Tyler George for this A semifinal between Caitlin Laws and Silvana Tirinzoni. And Tyler, I think fair to say Silvana Tirinzoni has had a little bit more of the run of play, but that was a pretty good 4th end for Laws, and it's overall been quite a tight game so far.
Yeah, Kate had a look at a shot for 2 on her last to take the lead at the break, even though it did feel like Silvana's had most control of this game. But the scoreboard says it's even up. So I think even though Kate would have liked to put another one on the board there, they're probably fairly happy with being 2-2 at the break. And now right back to business with the center guard. And it looks like Silvana's going to corner. So we're seeing aggressive 5th from both teams.
I love it. Let's dance, baby.
attack.
It's the second stone again from Kristen that we've been keeping an eye on.
Room, but line's good. What do you think? Top 4? Top 8. Right. Got it. Yep, line. Hard line, hard line, hard line. It's got to sit for line. Oh, okay. Top 8. Got to sit. Nice out.
Pretty good result on the last 2. She's hurting our chances of blaming the rock for the first few misses.
Sorry,
after those.
Kristen. We are retroactively rescinding our excuses for you. Are we allowed to do that? I don't know.
No, we're gonna keep it. We're just gonna say she's made the adjustments so well that
she has.
Making.
Yeah, that's more likely, to be honest. When you play. When you play lead for that long, you get used to having the bad rocks. And speaking of bad rocks there, Carol Hovald over curling there, and that was going to take that rock off of the no-tick zone, so it gets pulled right off. And Caitlin Law's going for a double center. Woohoo! We are dancing, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to predict no blank in this end and probably be very wrong, but what fun is it to not take a shot at it at least?
Okay, got a cross center here. Line's good. What do you think? Are we over? Over enough.
Double center usually brings a good chance of a steal into play, especially with the position of these stones starting the end off. I don't think Silvana's real happy with the setup, so she's going to try to run right away. We'll probably lose all 3 and bring blank in immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Silvana, you don't care about a blank here. You're happy to get hammer and 6. It's probably part of the reason why Caitlin was going after the double guard here. So we'll see if Selena Wieczonka can get 2 of these moving. Doesn't look like it. Just going to be the single peel.
Looks like Kate's going to be happy to just replace, make them waste another stone. They want to line these up probably a little more, but with the guard not covering the rock in the house, it's do you want to leave the slash double on the guards, or do you want to guard the rock in the rings? Looks like they want to cross just a touch.
To your feet. Okay, well. No, it's to the bottom of that logo. Little bit. Good.
So guard up. Yeah, very good.
17-8.
17-8. That's tough to do.
You're not kicking out too hard for that one. 17-8, talking about the hog-to-hog time. That's even for a high guard, that is a very long time, meaning it's extremely fast.
And there's the double peel that Selena was chasing with her first one. Very nice.
Yeah, that's really well thrown. And now that was the issue with having the rock guard the one more in the house, is you're going to leave that slash to get rid of both guards.
Probably like on top of the eye-ish. Did it feel really nice? Yeah. Okay. I thought like...
Another center guard being thrown now, just crossing the center a little bit to guard the rock at the top of the 8-foot. Not a real strong steal opportunity here, John. More playing just to try to force and at least make Silvana waste some stones, but that's really high. So maybe a chance to dig that out and roll either under the center or the corner.
Yeah, you'd think so.
It's pretty much buried, so Thought they might go around the outside of the stone and try to roll towards the corner guard with Hammer, but just playing the intern side. Maybe not quite sure about that path, so electing to play the one they know. But this is that in-between track again, where you're just inside the edge of the forefoot. We've seen these jump.
We'll see if Silvana can find the right weight and line on this path. She had 2 great soft weight takeouts last end. This looks pretty close.
Ooh, sneaks by.
Sneaks by the guard. Nice sweep there from Carroll, and that red rock will go out the back of the house. So nice shot. I think they would have liked to roll away maybe a little bit, but got the job done all the same.
They all need a little more to kill it because it's so high.
She's throwing those intern soft weights very well. Had the one wreck in the fourth with the out turn, but that's a minimum of 3 of those soft weight finesse interns that she's made in the last couple ends.
Yep. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hop. Curl. 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 Curl.
Okay.
Trying to get as much of that under the guard as they can, but it does remove the stone, so now I think you're going to see the roll away for Team Tirinzoni and get away from that center guard. It's possible if they nosed and they were under the guard that Laws may draw underneath it with that high guard. So they'll roll away and take that out of play.
Meter schnell. Meter 2.
Another intern for Silvana.
Tia. 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 Yep. 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 Yep.
A little bit of a roll away. Good shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it eliminates the likelihood of them doing what you said, Tyler, of drawing around everything. So maybe it wasn't as far of a roll as they wanted, but gets that job done.
And now on the flip side, too, if Laws rolls under the center guard completely buried in the top of the 12s, does Alina consider drawing around it? They've been able to dig him out pretty easily, so I don't think there's a spot they can roll to that they can't take it out. But it might be one where they think that the draw is an easier shot than the soft weight hit, so why not play for 2 if you're going to play the easier shot?
Swept her away.
My thought is they're still going to try to dig anything out regardless, but Caitlin will definitely try to roll underneath if she can.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Jocelyn really trying to hold this.
Yes, no roll.
Can't roll out of the house here.
Yes. Keep going. Go.
They roll all the way over underneath the corner instead, so that could bring a force into play as well.
Could bring a 2 into play, too.
Yeah, it's interesting because of where the red guard is located. It staggers the draw to go around the corner guard.
Yeah, I would think
looking at it, but
yeah, I was going to say, I think from our angle here, I don't know if that port's there. If it is, it's real tight.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that Alina was expecting to be looking at this. You could play the straight run on the yellow. Because of how high that guard is, there's not a lot of danger in leaving the center there, even if they come around it. I mean, if you're playing to either blank or get 2 still, your best bet is to play the run on the yellow.
Ja, also aber wenn der ja triffst. Okay. Also ja, du musst sagen, aber ich finde den mega schwierig. Okay, es 8.
I think you kind of have to run the yellow. Either that or try to chip the yellow into the rings and open it up. But, I mean, there's no spot you can chip it into that they can't dig it out. So I think the run is the shot, and looks like that's what they're playing.
Yeah, the one thing is you're not really in danger of giving up a steal here if you don't miss on your last. So
yeah, the height of the guard in the center is what makes the big difference here.
Yeah. So here we go. Run back for Alina Petz. Selena on this right away. You don't want to leave a center guard. That's the only way that you could be in some danger.
Yeah, that's the one thing you did not want to do is roll to that spot. Now they have a center guard they can use to go around. So
I was going to say that. I was trying to avoid the commentator's jinx, but I guess I didn't do a very good job.
I think every bit as much as we expected Alina not to end up there. But yeah, now it's a much different situation with that tight guard. No brainer for Caitlin to draw around these, and steal has come into play.
Ice to the guards we're taking. I think we can take a hair more. Do you like 4.5? Like a little more than draw the button? Okay. She had like a 15 on it. So just like hair more? Okay. Okay. So it's nice here.
Good conversation there between Caitlin and the sweepers, really making sure they're certain about this line. Generally, the draw to the button path is the one you feel like you know the most.
Line's good. Line's good.
So final stone here for Caitlin Laws in end number 5. Hasn't threatened for a steal without hammer previously, but had the chance here. This is maybe coming up short, though. They really got to get it there.
Yeah, that's a big miss from Caitlin. Big opportunity, and maybe just didn't quite get it out of her hand. Really turned over and died. So now the blank back in play for Alina Pats and Team Tirinzoni.
Yeah, and the tough thing with that, Tyler, is really even if you don't get that buried, you get it anywhere in the house, you at least get a force.
Yeah, any paint whatsoever, and it's a good result on that shot. So I'm sure Caitlin will be very disappointed there.
And we said at the start of the end that Silvana would happily take a blank here in 5 and keep hammering to 6. So looking for the desired result here.
Caitlin made me incorrect on my call of no blank at the start there, too.
Happens to the best of us. That will be a blank end up on the board. Tirinzoni will retain the hammer heading into 6.
Comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So it was a bit of an uncharacteristic miss from Alina Petz, but followed up by an uncharacteristic miss from Caitlin Laws. And that allowed Tirinzoni to grab the blank. So end number 6. And Tyler, I have to imagine the plan here for Team Tirinzoni is to put a score on the board here.
Yeah, they're playing even end now. I mean, the first time you really start to think about even at odd end is the 4th and 8 end game, but even then it's not that important. Now you're in a 3 end game essentially starting the 6th end, and you probably have hammer twice. So we've seen teams more in the last, I think, decade or so blank this end sometimes when they have that opportunity, which is something I don't think we ever would have even considered in that situation. You know, taking the point, playing the 7th up by 1. Generally, we feel pretty good as opposed to the blank, and then you either have to get 0 or 2 in the 7th. So, yeah, I agree. I think they're looking to put something up on the scoreboard here no matter what so they can play aggressive, and obviously that's the plan with going to the corner guard here with their first for Carol Hovald.
So indeed, corner guard up for Carol.
See if Kate decides to come in with Kristen's second, or if they throw another center. Looks like they're coming around. Wouldn't have been surprised to see a second center, honestly, in this situation.
It's what they did last end. We did see that out of them last end. So, yeah, I agree. Maybe they didn't like the way things ended up getting set up last end with that second center. Sometimes you call an audible. Unfortunately for Kristen, that one slides into the back 4.
It came out the other side a little bit too. I like this call from Silvana too. You know, the tendency is to say, oh, we have backing, we can throw the draw around and get to the top of the 4-foot, top of the button, but you don't really want to start bunching rocks up around the back of the button or the 4-foot circles when you're trying to score your 2 with the hammer. So you can hit this roll away as long as you stick around. Ends up on the nose. I think they would have preferred to roll away, and now it's, you know, freeze for Caitlin. But yeah, if you roll that rock away, now your opponent probably has to hit that stone, and it's a little riskier to come around when the team with hammer already has a stone in the house. So like the call, the result wasn't perfect, but it's a pretty easy call now for Caitlin following that up.
Top it! You want top button, T? Close. Line's great. Yeah, go. Top 4. Real. Curl distance. Curl distance.
Trying to drag this one, our Gordon and Negavin. You'd love for this one to be as close to the face of that yellow stone as you can get it. Just a little short from Jocelyn, but I think that's in a pretty good spot. Certainly usable.
Yeah, good position, plays into the jam still too, and I think you probably see them try to keep this shooter in play too if they can roll to the corner. Just playing the straight peel. I guess with that rock on the back of the button, they weren't too concerned with Laws peeling the corner.
Like one guard.
It's not a great setup for Caitlin right now. If you wanted to play it really conservatively, you could just peel that corner with the 2 rocks in the 4-foot, thinking that you can stay away from a 2 with the whole end to play after that, but electing to play the center guard.
Got a split center at least. It's close. Line's good. Line's good. Clean, clean, clean. Gotta sit for line. 17.
Guards the correct side of the stone.
Well, maybe a little higher than they would have liked.
Yeah, and wanted to carry that another foot or 2, definitely. They can get inside if they want, try to clear that stone or tap it to the back of the house, but They're going to run the center instead. Thought they might have a go at maybe through the house weight and tap that back and go on the offensive.
What's up?
Keeping themselves out of danger no matter what, just peeling the center. That also says, John, that they're not opposed to taking a blank if it does come to that point at the end. So I think if they were going hard for 2, they probably play the tap or the really soft hit hack weight in that situation.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely has the feel that they're leaving their options open here.
I thought up there though. Line's good. Might have to. Okay, gonna have to curl. Easy line. Just straight curl. Yeah, just straight curl. Got to cross center here.
Corey Teesey in place of Tabitha Peterson this
Gotta
week gets skipped for the American squad. Takes a 3 in the 5th to go up 5-3 on Fujisawa. Chelsea Carey with 2 consecutive steals to go up 3-2 on Anna Hasselborg. Anna tried to play a slash double blank on her last. A little risky. Ends up going over the top for Chelsea Steele, playing 3-handed. Over on sheet A, Team Kim leading Team Morrison 3-1, although I think Morrison just scored at least a single on their last shot in the 5th.
Yeah, it looks like both of those teams are potentially in time crisis mode here, with only 10 minutes apiece and 3 ends to go. Tirinzoni in a similar spot too, although they still have 2 timeouts, but under 10 minutes in the 6th.
Generally, as long as you have at least 3 minutes in end, you're not in too much trouble. You got to play with some pace, but once you get in that 2.5, 2 minutes in end range, now you really have to push things. But you want to have as much time as possible for that final end too, so you can talk through whatever you need to.
So ignoring the guard now, finally, and playing this shot that Silvana seems like she's played on almost every shot she's had, just the lightweight hit, and that's a nice touch there. Tirinzoni lying 2.
Yeah, back to that intern again for Silvana too. She's made that all day, and you wonder if they were waiting until her stones to attack and play that soft weight hit if they had the opportunity.
Yeah, certainly could have been part of the plan. We know a team like Tirinzoni is going to be very well prepared and kind of know how they want to approach just about every scenario, so that would not surprise me.
Does leave a double for Team Laws coming back here. Selena playing the intern, firm weight.
Nice shot.
And she gets both and the roll. Very nice from Selena Negovin.
Good sweep.
And that rolls to a very good spot too. You see that mostly buried on the opposite side.
Yeah, really good shot.
And you know, little things again too, John. You're making Silvana switch turns, and she's been making basically every single in-turn. The one negative is that it rolled to the side where they can hit and roll under the corner guard. So a little column A, little column B.
Yeah, we'll see if Silvana can get that roll behind the corner here.
See about half of that stone, I think, from the hack. As much as it curls, that's plenty to make the shot.
And it seems like they weren't chasing it at all. They were trying to get it right on the nose there.
Yeah, no attempt really to get the roll under the corner. It might have been a little concerned that if you hit it kind of thin, it might be tough to clear. The rock went out easy, but indeed just plays to the nose. Maybe they thought Laws may try to draw underneath the center if they roll under the corner. As you said, John, it's a big end to score in, so it's possible that Caitlin may have played a little more aggressively and tried to get underneath the center guard. And if you make the roll under the corner, you're pretty much forcing her for the draw under the center.
We'll make sure we have enough to kill it.
So first rock here for Caitlin Law is in the 6th.
Yep. 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 Yes. Yes. Hard.
Looks like they're flirting with this center guard here. Kristen Gordon trying to hold it. You cannot rack on this center guard. Can they get it by? They do.
Nice sweep, Kristen.
Fantastic sweep there from Kristen Gordon.
A brush.
That's one of the first times we've really heard Caitlin and Selena panicked there. I think they thought that was in danger of racking.
Yeah, we've seen some big scrubs by both teams, and that was really tight to the guard. You see on that replay, shadow of the stone going by. Pat on the back for the sweepers there.
So we'll see here now that we're on Alina's stones if they're going to try to be a little more aggressive for the roll here or not.
Yeah, if you can get your 2, you really feel like you have a high percentage chance of winning the game. So I'd be pretty surprised if they weren't trying to at least get a roll under the corner on this one. But again, still leaving it in the open. So I think, John, maybe what they're playing for there is they know if they make that roll under the corner, then Caitlin is probably going under the center. So if they play to the nose, then there's zero opportunity to go underneath. That wouldn't leave them a shot for 2 because they could run that shooter in that they just played on Alina's first. So they wanted to keep it in the open.
Yeah, that makes sense. But now if Caitlin makes the roll,
yeah, you're still drawing for 1 probably.
For 1, yeah.
Well, it is possible if they make the roll, it's a short run to blank. Maybe they don't think it's a huge percentage change of scoring 1, giving 1 up, depending on what they've seen in their own team stats. I wouldn't be shocked if they made the roll and Alina decided to play the blank with the run.
So last rock here for Caitlin Laws. Trying to make a nice roll and put some pressure on Alina Pett.
Whoa! Yes! Whoa! Yes! Whoa, whoa, whoa. No.
Roll into
Need
the
that
corner.
to sit. That's pretty good and good enough that Team Tirinzoni is going to draw for 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the role they were playing right from the get-go, but either one gets you the force. No thought of playing for the blank here with that run being considerably longer than the one it would have been if they'd rolled into the center. So maybe that's also why they were trying to roll to the corner.
It definitely seemed like that was the call, was to roll behind the corner. So final stone, Alina Pett just needs full 12 foot. And that's never in doubt. So 1 up for Tirinzoni on the board in 6, and in the game they lead 3-2. Laws will have the hammer in 7.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance.
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So Tyler, we were just talking in the break, was it, maybe a bit of a conservatively played kind of sixth end there for Tirinzoni. Never really seemed to aggressively chase a chance at 2, ended up settling for 1 in the 6th. Is that just them being happy to get on the board in the 6th? What do you think the reasoning was for that?
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I thought really with that second shot of Silvana's when they rolled to the opposite side of the center that they had a good chance to roll under the corner there and try to set up a 2. If they were really just trying to stay away from Caitlin drawing around the center, then I guess I understand. But really, scoring 1 or giving 1 up doesn't change the percentage chance of winning the game drastically in that end. But scoring 2 does. So that's the reason that I'm a little confused by why they didn't attack to try to roll wide under the corner. Because your chances of winning the game differ more dramatically with the 2 than it does giving up 1 or scoring 1. So yeah, I'm not real sure, but I mean they got their point. They have the lead going to 7. So still a good situation for them. But yeah, definitely a little surprised they didn't try to roll into the corner.
So we'll see what Caitlin Laws does here. I guess, Tyler, the moral of the story for them here in this end is you want to get 2 or blank. Getting 1 here would be less than ideal.
Yeah, these ends are fun because your objective isn't completely clear. The 0 or the 2 is a good result, but as opposed to when it's tied up, you're definitely playing it more open unless you get an opportunity. So it's a cat and mouse game now. Obviously, if you're Team Tirinzoni, you'd love to get a force. See how aggressively or conservatively Team Laws plays. A little bit of a miss there from Carol going to the back of the 8-foot, so see where Kate wants to go with the next one.
Top 8! Same throw, Kristen.
So another one in here for Kristen Gordon. They're calling heavy. They certainly don't want that.
Curl if you're top 8. Curl. Hard curl. Hard curl. Hard curl. Curl. Keep going.
Selena almost fell down there. Oh, she touched it. Okay. Oh, she didn't touch it. Did she say she touched it?
Couldn't tell.
I mean, Silvana didn't care either way, so.
Yep. Nothing going out of play.
She did shriek there, so I maybe that is because she hit it. Maybe that's why she shrieked. But
it sounded a little like your hiccup from earlier tonight too.
Yeah, I've been known to shriek a time or 2 in my life.
Surprised yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Selena makes that the other way. I don't usually see that too often on peels. Usually if you're tight, you're nosing it. But
the old Brooklyn.
Yeah. Maybe they were trying to run, and that's what she was unhappy about. That probably makes a little more sense than it fully crossing the face of the rock.
That's kind of weird throwing a center guard, so I just wanted to talk about it. Then I think we're going for the blank, then I think if that's the case, which is okay.
I don't hate unlocking that.
Want to talk to Connie about it? We have 2
Sure, yeah. Timeout.
I think that's a good time for a timeout.
Like, no.
We'll listen in to Team Laws and see what they're thinking.
7/8, try and get this one here.
Coach Connor Negevin going to make his slow trek down the sheet here.
I was almost thinking like hack then if we're...
He's been coaching this team from the start, and of course, Selena's husband.
Just want to...
And lead for Team Reed Carruthers.
Or we try and just line these 2 up and then just get this one.
I feel like that's just more dangerous if we kind of cross it.
I know. I'm just trying to think where we can...
See, I kind of feel weird throwing a center guard, but a corner guard's not going to do us any good, so. Center guard?
Let's waste a couple, throw the center. If she makes a run double, that's an easy way to a blank, right? So we know the path to make a good center line guard on the 6. So let's guard the 6 up, make her run it back a couple times, and then we can look at like splitting the rings back here, or doing something, or unlocking, but on Selena.
Are we second?
Waste a
I didn't look, but it doesn't matter if we're not second?
We are second.
Okay.
Just want to avoid the intern, like massive intern wide chase, right? So straight guard the 6.
Like the HearingLife steps.
HearingLife, straight guard the 6. Make her throw the run back a couple times. Make her make a hard shot, and if she makes a great one, then it's a blank. We know this spot good.
Okay.
Connor, yet another guy that I've beaten on my 4-0 start in our Grand Slam Curling Fantasy Football League. Piling up the victories early in the season.
Hey, you've just been rubbing that in all week.
They're all here. It's perfect. What a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree with you more. Love a little good trash talk. So you heard there, Caitlin was saying, you know, with Hammer, does feel a little bit weird to be throwing a center guard, but I think I agree with Connor here. Even if Alina does make the hero shot and gets rid of the 2 reds in the house, or Silvana rather, you still have a good chance at blanking. So I like the call. How about you?
Yeah, and another reason on top of that, too, is that's the shot you want Silvana throwing, is that run. So as much as it feels like the guard is an odd shot to play, I think I like the call. You want it tight. Let her run it if she wants to. But throwing it in the house, you're just giving them opportunities to make a double or 2, and there's no guarantee that's going to end up a blank. So, yeah, I think it's set up for a good opportunity. Probably would have liked that just a hair higher. One more crack here before we get to third stones. Again, if you get this one just a peel and they're replacing, then Silvana's throwing the run. That's what you're playing for. That guard over curling, though, so they do have a good piece of this on that side. Really on the wide side, though. Does clear 1 stone, but now decision time again for Team Laws.
Yeah, Caitlin still shot based on her indication there.
What do you like?
They didn't really plan for this. I think they thought that Silvana would be running that guard or
I just don't know how we get
peeling
there.
it.
I like this way, I think. That's okay. Yeah, she should. You like that? I don't know. Top 8! 14-8?
So we're going to put another one on top of it here.
Yeah, they have to be conscious of the situation that could give up a steal, too. That's your worst case scenario here. Blank is probably out of play after you're playing this draw. Yeah, you want to line this up, straight gun to the back stone in the back of the 4-foot. Weight's good. Just over curls a touch, almost perfect. Had to keep going for line. Still a good shot.
Right beside us, Anna Hasselborg with a contender for shot of the week. Made a sort of slash takeout that turned into a double. Score 4 on Chelsea Carey. So Anna Hasselborg now leading that one 5-3. As we've got a timeout here for Team Tirinzoni. Doesn't look like they have a coach here, so we'll listen in to the 4 of them.
Wahrscheinlich ist das der Stein. Also wir können auch aufmachen, aber gibt es vielleicht 2 einfach. Was okay wäre? Ich weiß gar nicht, was machen. Was meinen die? Ich bin erst ersten Gedanke. Ja, also der Draw wäre nicht mein erster gewesen, einfach aufgrund des Schwierigkeitsgrad. Ich hätte jetzt glaube ich aufgemacht in der Minute. Ich finde aufmachen okay, wenn wir 2 überkommen. Okay. Aufmachen, oder? Ja, stopp für mich, ja. Auf die Hände vor.
Team Tirinzoni deciding to play the run, at the very least open things up. But again, this is a pro side thing for Team Laws, that they have Silvana playing the upweight shots and the runs. Not that she's not able to make them, but just the way she's throwing those control weight shots and the soft finesse shots tonight changed things up a little bit for her.
Yeah, so the run back incoming here for Silvana, and it
just ends up with the peel.
Yeah. Finishing my sentences already. We are dialed in, baby.
Yeah, we got some groupthink going already 2 days into our tenure, so I think that's how it's supposed to work.
I think so too. I'm thinking of like the cartoon where my brain is getting massaged right now.
We finish each
Bugs Bunny style
other's
sentences.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
We're so good. Got a nice DM from Robbie Gordon saying that he loved the pronunciation of his now wife's last name. I said, yeah, Gordon's a real tough one to get out there. had to consult the pronunciation guide.
Yeah, you had to look at the genealogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure it out.
McCush was dead easy, but Gordon, we really had to.
Gordon?
Gordon. Jordan.
16-7.
I think the N is silent. It's Gordo.
In Canada, I think the N is often silent. Yes, a lot of Gordos in Canada, that's for sure.
Good seat.
There's a silent J in one of the players' names on the team. So.
That's true. That is true.
That's actually a bit more.
You just got yours running in the path more than me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Osselin Peterman.
Yeah, you guys finished it a long way.
Yes, that's the one I was referring to. Good old Os.
I was like quickly scanning in my mind. Does anyone have a J? Does anyone have it? Yes,
that's the comedian side coming out immediately. Yeah. How can I make this funny? There has to be a J on the team besides Selena's.
I got bailed out with Jocelyn.
That's pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm going to have a hard time not calling them Osselin and Gordo now.
Yeah. Well, there's been famous sweeping duos. Scott and Marcel were Huff and Puff, and EJ and Ryan were the Brush Brothers. So now we've got Osselin and Gordo following in their footsteps.
We're morons, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for
Can you tell it's the night game?
Yeah.
The fourth game of the day for us.
All of 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just imagine what the fourth game on Saturday is going to look like.
Silvana does wreck the guard there.
Yeah, they kind of changed the strategy there. Obviously didn't love the way the peel went for Silvana on her first one, so they tried to play a similar shot to one of Selena's, just with a kind of hack weight, push one of the reds out of the house, but ticking the guard there is really not great for Team Tirinzoni.
It's just harder on this side. What do you like?
Yeah, they were trying to play 0 or 2 from the start. But stuff piles up in the middle of the sheet, and all of a sudden it's go time. And they've been guarding, again, something you don't see very often in this situation for most of the end.
We can't make... how much space is
Yeah, I think your temptation here, obviously, if you're Laws, is how do we turn this into a potential 3? But you also don't want to give up the shot at 2. Yeah, I agree with Caitlin. Lots of time.
Yeah.
Might as well discuss it.
More space than I thought here. I wondered if it would drag back, but...
Yeah, I don't see a drag.
No.
It's if we guard, she's maybe coming here, or trying to come here, or trying to run. If she goes here, that's why I wanted tight. If we do this, we're always leaving a double or a pocket or something. So I don't mind the guard. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Right here?
Yeah. I'm just trying to just same way.
I like same way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, timeout.
All right, so they're going to do the rare double timeout end here.
Very rare.
Yeah,
I remember the last time we've seen that outside of teams running low on time for their last couple shots.
Yeah, exactly.
A
Sorry, I guess I should
non-final
say,
end,
yes,
yeah.
non-final end double timeout here. So I guess the call was the guard, but obviously coaches are allowed to call timeouts now. So I'm imagining that Selena went back to throw the guard, and Connor said, "Hey, let's call a timeout here."
Nope, we're not doing that.
Are you good with hack?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I like hack. I feel like the house will be dead, so.
Yeah, house is going to be dead, so you're just trying to, like, you want to stay in front of, like, basically the top rock, low side, and we're just going to try to kick the 6 and your shooter a little bit over and spread them out as much as we can.
So like this.
Yeah, move it, spread everything. Spread everything as much as we can. Okay, guys?
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hack.
Okay.
Show me the flow.
Sorry.
Do you like that, Ace?
Is hack normal here?
So hack is the call. I think they're just trying to spread these out and maybe roll the shooter.
So like board?
Well, they're saying board. So really trying to spread these stones
no
out,
kidding.
roll onto the corner.
Do you like this as opposed to throwing the guard?
You know, I mean, if you're throwing the guard, you're daring them to play the freeze on their own stone.
Clean. Yep.
I don't mind the guard because
Clean.
I don't think I'm afraid of them playing the freeze. So yeah, I think I probably would have thrown one more.
Hard curl.
So trying to get that separation here. And I don't know how well that worked out.
Interesting.
This is pretty much an automatic double for Alina.
Close. It didn't do anything.
They were really hoping that was going to curl more. You hear Selena say the weight was close, just didn't move the way they were expecting.
Shit, sorry, Caitlin. I didn't do anything.
It was a guess on me.
Yeah.
It was one of the others where I didn't think that for the
I guess
first,
when it
'cause I
wasn't
just-
curling, we could have gone hard to roll our 5.
Yeah.
Thought she could have got it to go a bit more than that because I wasn't very
Still
confident.
4 shots left in this end too, so I think if you're Team Tirinzoni, you're pretty happy with that decision and result.
Sorry, Caitlin.
No,
Yeah, no question.
I gave you too much.
So pretty routine double here for Alina. And she'll make no mistake. You kind of maybe would want to save the shooter there, though.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit of an error. It's still a tough 2 now for
Their shot.
Laws.
Yeah, and if she
There's
makes
not a
double
lot
or
of good
blank,
places to roll to. You could freeze on that yellow stone
freezes
or even tap it a couple inches,
Or
but
we play.
I think I like the
Yeah,
freeze.
we're still always behind. My only thought was going here. But then
I guess the only issue with the freeze is you're never blanking if you play the freeze.
It's a guess on draw, so at least if we hit then
Yeah,
we'll
if you hit and
probably
roll away,
have
blank is definitely in play.
even or whatever over there if we can.
Yeah, if you're playing a 0 or 2
Based on
still,
cards, it didn't do much.
if you stick around, then you're either getting a shot for 2 or the blank, most likely. So if you make the freeze, if you were deciding to play it, it's
I think if we knew the draw speed on this side, I'd probably draw.
brings
but
3 into play, and it gives you a
try
very
and
good chance
hit and
at
roll
2
over, and if
because
it makes the double, we can play.
if they try to play nose-nose on it and roll off a little bit, then you get your shot for 3.
Just try and roll them even.
If they just hit the open one because they're afraid to play
They
that
didn't
one,
really
then
go
you get your
crazy
shot
here,
for 2.
so- You like that ace, or is that too much?
But yeah, playing the 7th, you have your opportunity you're looking for at the start of the end where it's almost assuredly a shot for 2 or a blank.
So first rock, Caitlin Laws, and 7. This is really curling. That'll be right on the beak, so.
That's a little bit of an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Nose isn't bad at all.
Came up way more than I thought. Good feet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only downside to nosing here is Alina can make a little bit of an inside roll, and if she makes it perfect, it does make the blank a little tougher.
Well, if it rolls right in front of it, I think it's a pretty straightforward blank because there's a little separation between the two. Really not a bad result. Too thin to play the double.
Sie hat jetzt 10,5 gespielt. Also.
I think you want to roll this to just like edge to edge with the guard so that the outside slash for the blank is difficult. Maybe they could still play soft for 2.
So final stone, Alina Petz looking for a little inside flop here. It sounds close. And how about that? Lovely.
Pretty good. Should be a blank there still.
Yeah, enough separation, and we know Caitlin can throw enough weight.
A good shot by Alina.
It's pretty thin. Yeah. Quarter rock? Yeah. Quarter or less? Yeah, feeling?
It's a big shot here for Laws.
I think we try the blank. Thin quarter.
Get both of these going and shoot her roll out. Gets her blank, and we'll have the most exciting end in curling, down 1 with coming home. Also brings the very consistent extra end in the final draw of the day into play.
Possibility, yep.
For our crew here in the room doing their first curling games. You can pretty much expect the last game of the day to go extra ends all the time, gentlemen.
So here we go, Caitlin Laws. Final stone. Did they overcook it? No, they didn't. That is perfectly done. Heard a little bit of panic there in Selena's voice, but perfect shot from Caitlin Laws. And as Tyler said, one of the classic scenarios here in curling. It's a 1-point game. Caitlin Laws with the hammer. Don't go anywhere.
Good wins.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Well, hello, curling fans. We are here, the HearingLife Tour Challenge A semifinal. Caitlin Laws, Silvana Tirinzoni, John Cullen here with Tyler George. And Tyler, you know, some games you commentate and it ends up a 1-point game and you think, geez, how did we even get here? This has been a very tight game all the way, very evenly matched from both teams, and no surprise that we're in this situation here with a 1-point lead in 8.
Yeah, as tends to happen at slams, 2 of the top teams in the world going toe-to-toe, throwing haymakers back and forth in this second half especially, and really interesting strategic end there in the 7th with the back and forth, deciding if you're playing for 2 or 3 or playing for the blank, and can we still play for the blank if we throw this? And again, the rare 2 timeouts called by a team in a non-last end situation. But we know exactly what to expect here now. Team Laws will be going all out for their 2, throwing this corner guard. And for Team Tirinzoni, love to get a steal and end this, but
tried to suck the wind out of that one for Kristen.
Yeah, it does stay off the paint, so it is a corner. A very tight one, but
yeah.
But yeah, for Tirinzoni, if you get a force, you still have a great chance of winning the game, obviously. But take the steal opportunity if you can get it. But objective number 1 for Tirinzoni, do not give up 2. Objective number 1 for Laws, and their only objective, score 2 or more. Try to get the win.
Couldn't agree with you more, Tyler. The objective,
I hope so.
The objective is to not lose this game. I agree. Absolutely right.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard, I think I can tell you what I think they're going for.
Again, we're not math experts up here, but thankfully the numbers in curling are low enough that you don't have to do a whole ton. It's not like football, all those 6s and 7s and 2s and 3s. Curling, it's pretty straightforward. It looks like we are going to see Caitlin come around the centers here. Or I guess I should say Selena. I don't know a whole lot about pregnancy other than I do know pregnant women pee a lot. So I feel like Caitlin had to take a quick break there. Jocelyn trying to drag this one all by herself here.
Keep going. Bounce off.
And that'll just over curl slightly for Kristen. Not bad to have more guards up here, though.
Hey, well, shit show of a start.
Appreciate you educating us on the subject as well.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know everything, but...
Just a man of many trades.
Well,
Comedian,
yeah.
curler, drummer, pregnancy expert.
That's a 4 ice.
Finish good. Ja. No laggy. No laggy. Is sehr gut.
4 guards in play already, starting this end off. Out-turn, come around draw here for Uchanka. Perfectly done, right to the top of the button. So advantage, Team Tirinzoni, starting off this 8th end of action. Won't say final end. And jinx it right out of the gates. Straight run for Team Laws. Trying to stick this on that rock on the top of the button. Big shot early in the end here.
Very nice from Jocelyn Peterman, right on the beak.
Just how you draw it up. Perfectly done by Joss. Didn't fire that one, didn't really need to. See, just sticks it dead on that rock in the top of the forefoot. And also, John, great position as it's high enough that freeze doesn't really help that much. I think they're still playing to a freeze, but a really good spot for that rock to be. There's still scoring space, if that does stay there throughout the end, to get another rock in for a second point.
So another big shot here for Selena. Need to find this one onto the face here. And perfect weight, just maybe didn't quite curl enough there, Tyler, and this is a good opportunity now for Team Laws.
Yeah, bounces off just a little bit, and
I like a 15.
now they're playing the freeze. Couple options here. You could tap that rock back. You could try to clear it. It's maybe not quite able to roll in if you play hack, but they're just going to try to freeze to this stone, get position in the top of the 8 foot.
Lay down. Top 8. Curl. Straight curl, Tristan. Straight curl. Oh. Yeah, keep going.
Pretty close from Joss. Very nice. Following up the brilliant run back with a good draw.
That's a really good spot there. Good
Absolutely.
shot by Joss.
It's what the seconds need to do now these days. You can't just be a good hitter in the 2-hole anymore. You have to be good at drawing, and often back-to-back like that. Not always easy to do, but really good there.
A couple of them in that household.
Yeah, no question.
Good spot. They told me to go to like the out turn wing. Then when they throw that, I just like looked back like, well, fuck me now.
Oh, it took all game for us to get one.
There we go.
Finally in the 8th.
It's like, oh God.
Welcome to the party.
There we go. Selena Negevin. Put some money in the jar for Brent's Kids College Fund.
I thought we were going to have our first clean game of the
We were close. We got
tournament.
so close.
I don't think I've had one yet. I don't know if you and Brent have.
No, I haven't. I'm well behaved.
No, I mean for the players, though, for an entire game without hearing.
No, definitely not. And probably never will. That's really good from Silvana.
Yeah, right to the side of the lid, all the way around the outside of those guards.
Yeah, that's a huge shot there. Had to be made.
Yeah, the one issue is that the reds still look like, well, maybe that yellow's in the way. Maybe they can't quite slash the red into the red and the yellow.
That was my first spot. Okay, frame. Oh, no. Curl.
Seemed like Selena didn't love it out of her hand. Jocelyn trying to bring this one over. And that's too bad. Just doesn't quite curl enough and misses almost everything. Just touches that Tirinzoni stone into the forefoot, and maybe some trouble brewing here for Laws, Tyler.
Yeah, this is a really important shot now, because there are angles for later in the end for a run into that red stone. So you can probably try to freeze into that pocket or even tap the yellow a touch.
Wenn sie da noch sogar nasse kommt, ist sie fängt Schott. Aber wir liegen da zweimal. Der ist ja sicher nicht besser. Und sie muss ihn wirklich perfekt spielen, dass der da bleibt. Ja, ist ein Garten, das ist kein. Sogar wenn du ein bisschen so, was man hat sie gar nicht, oder? Also dann hat sie einfach den Rahmen. Gut, aber ja. Nicht so gut, im Fall. Aber in dem Fall da. Also da. Dart kommt nicht in Frage. Ich finde nicht. Aber sie dann macht sie den. Dann macht sie auch den Rahmen. Ich würde ins Haus rein, auch wegen dem. Tap würde ich glaube nicht. Ah, sie, ja. Und eben der ist. Also der finde ich mega gut. Das wäre der beste, glaube ich. Aber ist auch der schwierigste. Aber sehen wirst du genug. Also sogar, weißt du, nein, aber dann bin ich wirklich der. Ja, ich finde
We'll throw you in the analyst role here. What do you like?
Oh no, I'm not prepared for this. I was told there'd be no.
They said there'd be no analysis.
There'd be no expertise needed from me. Oh my God. I think there's honestly lots of things you could do here. It looks like the call they're making is a hit and roll in off of this red one and maybe push the other red one out the side of the button. I mean, I think this is pretty good if you make it. I also wouldn't mind. I don't think you'd be in too much trouble even tapping up that yellow one. But I do think that red rock in the forefoot's maybe causing you some issues. So I like this call. How about you?
Yeah, I think so. I think you said everything that needed to be said.
Great.
Yeah.
Who knew I had it in me?
Well, it helps to agree with Silvana. And
yeah,
Ada
well, that
usually,
makes it easy for sure.
That was my plan.
Uh-oh.
Just a hair thin, though, and doesn't end up moving anything. the center. That's a risk-reward shot, but if you make it, I think you're in really good position with where those guards were too. So I like the call, just didn't quite execute.
Yeah, field goal.
Close.
Quick release here from Selena. Clock not too low for Laws, but they have no timeouts left.
Yeah, no timeouts on either side of the board here. And that's pretty nice from Selena Negevin.
Look at the angles on those reds now. That's trouble for Tirinzoni. That's a really good result, as those two reds are gunned up to that yellow in the back of the forefoot. Kind of dire straits here now, protecting that single yellow stone for Team Tirinzoni.
Schau gut. Schnell machen. Auch wenn der da reingeht, ist fast besser. Wie schnell? Der halbe Treffer ist recht gut.
So just picking this off here, Tyler? Trying to figure out what the, or is this just a draw? That's not helpful.
I think they're maybe trying to
hit and roll
in, yeah. Because that rock is lonely in there. If you can ever roll all the way in behind.
And nothing. So the good thing for Tirinzoni is they're still lying one. The bad thing is those red rocks in the top forefoot, very threatening.
Yeah, the straight run goes right into that back yellow with the red-red combo. I think you got to play it right now, too.
Yeah, you can't risk having that maybe guarded at some point. And as we said, it's also kind of quick decision mode here for Team Laws. They still have a minute 50 on the clock, but no timeouts. So you want to be sure that you give yourself some time if you have to make a decision on your last.
A big shot here for Caitlin. Problem for Team Tirinzoni is even if this is just straight peeled, if you replace, even running the yellow in probably is still for the win.
So crucial first shot here for Caitlin Laws. Kristen Gordon on it, out of the hand. Do they have enough of those reds? They do, and they lie too. Lovely shot from Caitlin Laws.
A good result there. The number one counter is still buried in biting top four, so
so close.
Did push the number two out to the side of the 8 foot, so there's a hit and roll underneath for Alina.
Yeah, this is a gamer here, as we would say, Tyler. If you could make this hit and roll underneath, you're potentially looking good for the win. Caitlin would have a short run back on her last one. You're certainly feeling better about it, but you don't make it, you're probably giving up 2.
Yeah, absolutely have to roll this in.
So need a roll here, does Alina Pett. And she doesn't have it.
It sounded like both were calling whoa. Not sure if Alina was calling on. Silvana was definitely calling off. Just ends up on the nose, so.
I don't know if curling it would have helped it. It's maybe a little more takeout weight than we've seen them throw there. I don't know if that was maybe just an overthrow, but yeah, certainly some miscommunication there, but the blank in 7 potentially paying off for Caitlin Laws here. Just needs a piece of the forefoot.
Yeah, basically full 8. That yellow is just barely in the white circle completely, so they can come up to their own stone and still be shot. I think that's the key, so they can just play the regular draw path as long as they stay away from the guard.
So final stone, Caitlin Laws. A draw for the win.
Line's good. Line's good.
Guard shouldn't come into play at all on this line. Just need to get the full 8 foot.
You're on the red. You can't hurt it.
Selena Negevin likes it here.
Yeah, they're calling on the red, so as long as it's there, they're good. Should be fine.
Nice.
And no mistake there from Caitlin Laws. Fantastic shot and a fantastic win for the team from Winnipeg. They will move on to the A final against Yunji Gim tomorrow. Team Tirinzoni will drop down to the B, and a date with Rachel Homan. Some familiar opponents there. And we hope you'll join us. Yeah, we hope you'll join us tomorrow morning for Ross White against Joelle Retornaz. That'll be going at 8 p.m. 8 a.m.
8:30 a.m.
8:30 a.m. Okay, 3 games today. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Ross White, Joelle Retornaz. Hope you'll join us for that one. For Tyler George and everyone here at Home Team, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Goodbye.